Well, something that you've talked about a little bit on social media is regarding around burnout, and like
Yeah.
having to find the good pace, right, as an artist, and like figuring out how to like when to chill out, when to go, and
Hmm.
is I guess my question about that is like for you right now, how are you kind of because you're doing so much stuff, at any given
Yeah.
moment, like dealing with that right now.
So something kind of funny. I was in therapy last year, and I need to start back. But one day I was in there, and I was talking to her, and I just kind of flippantly said that, like, "Oh, I want to learn everything. Like, I want to do everything." And she just kind of laughed at me, and I was like, "Like, that's not a
Is that
realistic."
allowed in therapy? Are they allowed to laugh at you?
Well, that's what I was like. Damn. But she was just basically like, "That's not a realistic thing." But yeah, like these last few months, I've been pushing myself kind of like a lot, and I ended up the last few weeks kind of getting sick a little bit, and I had to go to the hospital the other day. And
Wow.
yeah, and I went in, got checked out and stuff, and the doctor came up and she was like, "Hey, so your EKG looks like you've had like a previous event and or a heart attack, so we're gonna keep you."
Oh
And
shit.
I was like, "Oh, what?"
Yeah.
So so I stayed overnight and got a bunch of tests, and meds, and all that, and I'm wearing a monitor now, so I
Oh
can
wow.
if something happens, I'll know, and I'll go somewhere.
That that's
But
that's that's a scary thing, man. To
yeah,
to be told that you need to ease
Yeah.
off the gas a little bit, especially. I know me as an artist. I'm always thinking, whenever I'm working on something, the mindset that I'm approaching it is, I could die tomorrow, and if this isn't finished and perfect, then no one will ever know what I was trying to say. Like this might be the last thing I've
yeah,
ever worked on. So I'm always like trying to go hard as a motherfucker on everything that I do, and that's sometimes not the best way to go about it.
it's not sustainable. And like, it what's kind of funny
Yeah.
is, like you guys said, like on social media, I've been talking about it because I'm very aware of like this is not a sustainable uh, path or like you know. And what's kind of funny is in my day job we had layoffs, and so my team used to run with like four like a design like a creative director and then three other designers, and the last 6 months or so it's been just me.
Wow.
We're
Oh
like
damn.
a pretty big company, like lots of stuff going on, and it's just been me working at night. And I'm like, oh, freelance. Yeah, I can do that. I can do that over Christmas break. Yeah, cool. And I'm still gonna draw all night too, cause fuck it. And it's just because I have, yeah, like I love it, right? I just like
Yeah.
making things, and like I hate drawing actually. I don't like to draw, but I like seeing what I want it to make, if that makes sense.
Well, you like getting it out of
Sure.
your head.
Yeah, like I like having drawn. I don't like to draw.
And that
But
that goes back to what you said about it being not an immediate return, but it's a faster return in terms of
yeah,
like art product. That's
Yeah.
kind of how I crudely I'm gonna put it, how I shoot my wad, because like you talked about, the beast of writing a screenplay is
yeah,
years. It's literally years.
yeah.
And to make a movie is even longer than that. So like my art therapy comes out of food. When I'm
Oh
cooking,
yeah,
like that's my immediate return. I'll taste something in my mind, like my brain processes it. I'm giving you that answer I was telling you about rainwater that I
yeah,
was going to save for our food podcast, but I'm doing it now. Fuck it. I taste it in my head, and it's like weird, and it's like no one understands what I'm talking about, but it's a very art thing where it's like almost like a movie or music, I guess, could be the same. But it's in here first, and then I'm like, all right, how do I pull this off? And then I'm like, okay, I got to get the mint and then the cumin, and then I get a little bit of salt and some red pepper flakes, and like, you know what I mean, like, and I
yeah.
start creating, and then I taste the steak, and I'm like, that's pretty close to what I was trying to do, and that's my artistic return that happens, and it's almost necessary. There
It
is there
is.
is that need for that to have that tangible product as soon as possible to kind of reassure you that you can do it. You know what I mean? Like there's
Oh,
long-term goals and then there's short-term goals, and you kind of balance them.
you have to have those like check-in points of like wins, just to keep you
Yeah.
going.